Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into one of the most transformative periods in American history, the incredible expansion phase that kicked off right after the Civil War. This wasn't just about healing a divided nation, it was about forging a global superpower. Let's get into how it all happened. The post-war era started with a deal that many at the time called Seward's Folly. The United States purchased the vast, icy territory of Alaska and the Aleutian Islands from Russia. People scoffed, but this move was a masterstroke of strategic foresight, giving America a crucial foothold in the Arctic, with its eyes set on the horizon. America's next move was towards the sun-drenched Pacific. This expansion often came at the expense of the declining Spanish Empire. It began subtly, with the acquisition of tiny but strategic islands like Howland and Baker in 1857, followed by Midway in 1859. By the end of the 19th century, the momentum was unstoppable. The paradise of Hawaii and the Phoenix Islands were brought under American influence, cementing the U.S. presence in the Central Pacific. The defining moment of this Pacific push was the Spanish-American War. In 1899, the United States wrested control of the Philippines from Spain. This marked a significant, if controversial, step into colonialism. The Philippines remained under American administration for nearly half a century before finally gaining its independence in 1946. This period profoundly shaped both nations and remains a complex chapter in their shared history. As the 20th century dawned, America's ambitions turned closer to home, into the warm waters of the Caribbean. The U.S. occupied Puerto Rico, making it a key territory in the region. But the crown jewel of its Caribbean strategy was in Panama. By supporting Panamanian independence, the U.S. secured the rights to build one of the greatest engineering marvels the world has ever seen, the Panama Canal, completed in 1914. This waterway was more than just a shortcut. It was a game-changer. By connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, the Panama Canal slashed travel times for trade and military vessels, becoming an essential strategic point in America's growing global power structure. Fundamentally altered global shipping routes and projected American influence like never before. Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture of this transformation. In the mid-19th century, America was largely an agricultural nation. It was a vast, rural society, exporting raw materials like cotton and grain and importing manufactured goods. The quintessential American image was the cowboy, a symbol of a rugged, untamed, and some would say, uncivilized frontier life. But in just a few decades, that picture changed dramatically. The United States underwent a rapid and radical industrial revolution. It morphed from a quiet agricultural country into the world's greatest and richest industrial nation. Factories sprang up. Cities exploded in size. And innovation flourished. America began to lead the world in almost every area of production. From steel to oil to automobiles. It was no longer just a follower, it was a pioneer, monopolizing leadership in most major industries. This economic boom was fueled by a population explosion. In a century and a half, the U.S. population increased more than 50-fold, driven by waves of immigration and natural growth. This constant influx of people, ideas, and labor powered the factories and settled the new territories, creating the dynamic, modern civilization we recognize today. From a collection of states recovering from a brutal war, the United States had decisively stepped onto the world stage, not just as a player, but as a dominant force ready to shape the 20th century. Thanks so much for watching. It's a fascinating story of ambition, innovation, and global strategy. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next video. See you next time.